You want me to take my mobiles off so that it doesn't interfere? You want me to take my mobile?
You want me to lose? Okay. I think they're gonna play music first.
We're gonna try this again. Everybody moving this way. Freddy Clarke from Menlo Park.
This one?
We're gonna need some air.
Mr. Freddy Clarke from Menlo Park. Well, I'm born in Fresno, lived in San Francisco for my formative years, and now live in Menlo Park. I started a band called Wobbly World 25 years ago in 2001, and we are a group of musicians and singers from Morocco, Cuba, Lebanon, Palestine, Vietnam, India, Bolivia, and elsewhere. And we are thriving in San Francisco. We play once a month in San Francisco, once a month in Dorinda, once a month in Palo Alto. And I invite you to come see us play.
Yeah.
All right. Welcome, my man.
All right, are the speakers all mic'd up, ready to roll? Excellent, great. Can we have our speakers come out here? Got Dr. Hannah, Jim Dickey. Oh, sorry, you're not Jim Dickey, you're Professor PK.
Thank you so much.
And Jim Dickey over here.
One second. Do you mind if I
Cool. Can we do the theme song?
I think I would need the mic.
Oh yeah, is this working? Okay. All right, so before we get started, by the way, thank you all for being here at the beautiful Amador Club. We're gonna have Captain Mickey, come share a couple words. Or should we wait for Evan? What do you think?
My work wife is somebody, I owe him for that. He's around here somewhere. Susan, would you mind grabbing Evan, one of our local ambassadors to our club? How's everybody feeling today?
All right.
I'm Captain Mickey, and I'm just so excited for Nick and all of our panelists, our friends, Freddie. I taught you all that you know about guitar. Seeing the master being outdone by the pupil just makes me choke up.
Unlikely.
Really a gift from the heavens, my friend. A round of applause for the absolute best. You are a gift from heaven. You are. Welcome to our club, Amador, named after A.P. Giannini. You are standing in the Bank of Italy. The executive office is here on the 9th and 10th floor, as well as the penthouse level where you're located now. The Bank of Italy was formed 2 years after a small little challenge we had in San Francisco in 1906. Remember what that was? The earthquake. 1908, an Italian fellow Sicilian brought banking to San Francisco on handshakes, to farmers, to the working class and the middle class, and the first time in American history, banking services to women.
Oh, yay.
This is hallowed ground.
Right.
This is hallowed ground. If you love your mother as much as I do, and fear her as much as I do, never met with an immigrant mother, because they'll use that slipper and beat you to death. There are no children's rights when we grew up. I serve the trustee here with my best friends, Evan Crow, our proprietor, will be here shortly. What we've done is transition the Wingtip Club to what is now Amador, in honor of A.P. Giannini, whose nickname was Amador. We're a club that is swollen to 24% women. And downstairs, the Bank of Amador, opening up next month.
Woo!
Swollen with membership. We're 62% women. And the very building where banking services to women was born. And if you love our city as much as I love our city, you'll understand that we're tired and fed up with the news portraying San Francisco as doom loop, gone, wasted. Are you tired of this?
Yeah.
Are you tired of this?
Yes.
San Francisco is coming back, and one person more than any other on this hallowed ground didn't shutter the business, didn't move to Florida or Texas. He drove his flag into the ground, doubled down on the city, and made the Wingtip Club in what is today Amador. He is the person who's keeping this epicenter of the rebirth of our city, San Francisco, a reality. San Francisco's rebirth, our membership's focus and dedication is to doing something small or large, like Nick does with this podcast, Silicon Zombies. Everyone can contribute to making our city that shining city on the hill again. Are you with us?
Beautiful.
Are you with us?
Hey, hey!
Ladies and gentlemen, one of my best friends, our proprietor of our club, and someone who's responsible for placing that flag in the hill and saying, "We will not go quietly into the night," Evan Crow.
Evan.
Evan, why do you feel the city's coming back?
Oh, it's coming back. I mean, San Franciscans won't let this place die. And what's great is, there's so many people outside of San Francisco that move into San Francisco, moving back here, who love the city, right? And we're making a rebirth. And San Francisco's gone through so many of these stages in 2001, in 2008. And here we come again. We're just going to be bigger and better than ever, as always.
Excellent. All right. All right.
Nick, thank you very much. Our guests, our panelists, always great to see you, brother. Thank you very much. Bless you, bless all of your families, and bless San Francisco.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Mickey. So we're going to have John Baum come and say a couple words here because today's about health and longevity and wellness. So John Baum of True Binding, please come share a little bit about what you're doing in the Alzheimer's and dementia space, please.
Okay. How many of you are fearsome of Alzheimer's or dementia in your future? Got a few of you. How about traumatic brain injury, stroke? Many of you are much braver than I am. Anyway, True Binding has created a monoclonal antibody that's able to take and neutralize the first responder to cellular injury or insult, which is a very highly inflammatory protein that calls upon the immune system. When we call upon the immune system, not all of it is non-inflammatory. Some is very highly inflammatory as well. This sets off an inflammatory spiral loop that if the immune system is not able to heal the cell, the galactin-3 that works as our target will continue to produce and upregulate. This will take and create chronic illness. We are able to neutralize this specific protein and be able to reverse things like dementia, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. You take a patient, I love Parkinson's patients because they might present, they have a shuffle when they're walking in, likely having a cane, their voice is soft, they have tremors. So 1 hour IV treatment, it's magical. About 30 minutes into that treatment, their voice normalizes, the tremors abate. After 1 hour treatment, they get up from the table and they begin to walk, they have the memory of what they were, and suddenly they realize something's different. By the time they're walking out the door, and they're walking, they're not shuffling any longer, they're also carrying their cane. So it's we're after a lot of inflammation, which is causing a lot of disease. And so it's a very special drug, and I'm very honored to be able to be associated with it. And my role is basically building that business. And also, I run and manage the expanded access program, which allows patients to receive the drug outside of clinical trials. It's patient funded, but at least they have access to it. And I'm also real happy today found out that within 2 weeks in the Bahamas, we can treat patients, we'll be able to treat patients, at least the company Garm will, for almost any indication associated with glycogen 3 that's causing chronic.
Steal from you.
So, pretty significant move in that regard. And again, it's an investigational medication. So far, we're not having serious side effects because we don't interact metabolically. We don't interact with medications. So there's no side effects. I'm just saying there won't be. So far, we haven't had it. But
awesome.
Anyway, thanks for listening. But most of all, we got to give Nick a big boost. If anyone's here that's got in medicine or longevity, he's looking for sponsors. You know, not only attendees. So someone's got to step up and do a sponsorship with Nick here.
You know, when our sponsor says that, that's a good thing. So, thank you. And I will share, we're going to have over 600 people October 10, and we're gonna connect with over 1.2 million people digitally. So really excited about the reach because we'll be streaming live. And tonight, we're going to be doing $80 tickets. They're $200 normally. We sold out last year. We're going to sell out again this year, and we got a couple tricks up our sleeves. So if you would like a ticket, be sure to get one tonight. They're only $80, and it will be an incredible adventure. In fact, we're going to have some great speakers at the event as well. So,
I'm going to buy one.
Okay, good. I'm going to charge you double.
Yes.
Okay. Also, just real quick note on what John is building. In 2023, there were almost 100 companies that applied for the expanded access program, which allows a fast track through the FDA. And there was one company that got approved, TrueBinding. So if you look at what's important from an innovation perspective, TrueBinding, this is once in a lifetime kind of innovation. So really excited what you're building, John, for Alzheimer's, dementia, giving people their lives back. If you know anybody that's been touched by this, or if you know of anybody that's looking to have a killer ROI, these guys have already raised $250 million. Go talk to John. I strongly recommend it. So thank you so much, John. Really appreciate your help here and your support. Also want to do a shout out for our friends at Nicodex. If you're building any web products or mobile products and you need help with growing your team or implementing AI infrastructure or agents, go to nicodex.com. That's NECODEX.com. Well, without any further ado, let's go ahead and light this candle. What do we say? Can we do the theme song here? All right. All right, everybody. Welcome to Silicon Zombies, where we bring you the best brains from the Bay. Oh, can we do better than that? From the Bay and beyond. We get to demystify emerging technology, and today is a very special treat at the beautiful Amador Club. And we're going to be talking with Jim Dickey, Dr. Hannah, and Professor PK about longevity, wellness, and basically living better lives. Right now, we live in extraordinary times, the intersection of science and wellness, and we're bringing it together because we've got innovations in biotech and also great understanding of how we can have live better lives through exercise and nutrition, better sleep. So we're going to explore a little bit of that today, but maybe we can do some quick introductions. Professor PK, would you like to start us off here?
Absolutely. First of all, thanks, Nick, for having me here. My name is a bit of a tongue twister, so people call me PK, P for Peter, K for Kingmaker. Who doesn't want a kingmaker or rainmaker in our life, right? So we all want that. But today I want to start off by giving an ode and obeisance to my grandma, 3 strong women who raised me, starting with my mom, my grandma, and my wife. No particular order. And you're not recording this, right? Okay,
We're
you're still-
live.
Oh, please, okay. With my wife, my mom, and my yeah, and particularly a special woman, my grandma. Today, in fact, August 5 is an anniversary. I'm supposed to be in Indiana today. For some reason, that event got. I had to move it for Nick's sake.
We're glad you're here.
Because I was here. My wife is a doctor. She's in the medicine. We are the family of medicine people. We are a family of mathematicians, civil engineers, and doctors. No lawyers. But maybe my kid will become a lawyer. If you're in US, you either become a lawyer or a politician.
And also a best-selling author, which is really cool.
You're a good lawyer or a politician.
All right, you guys have to behave, okay? Yeah. Next up, we've got Dr. Hannah, who's a Belarusian neurosurgeon, former neurosurgeon.
Yeah.
Now building PigBug. Dr. Hannah, please.
Okay, thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here. I'm a former neurosurgeon. I dedicated more than 10 years of my life to neurosurgery, performed brain and spinal cord surgeries, and my main focus was on neuro-oncology. A couple years ago, I moved to the United States, and I decided to combine my medical and clinical expertise with innovations, with technologies. So now I can make even a greater impact on the healthcare system through combinations, these two main fields. And I became a co-founder of PigBug Health. This is the company where we try to build a solution for kids with ADHD. We develop non-invasive BCI hardware and video games for kids and the platform. And I will tell maybe a little bit more about the power of attention and how important it is in our life. And for my contributions to the field of technologies, neuro-oncology, neurosurgery, and neuroscience, I'm proud to be a winner of Women Changing the World Awards 2024 in Women in Health and Global Impact People's Choice categories. So try to dedicate all my knowledge and experience to make this world healthier, better, and wealthier place.
And also neurosurgeon of the year in Belarus. Am I right?
I was quite successful.
I don't know how you could forget that. I would like to.
Well, I can take that any day.
Well, really grateful to have you here. And of
Thank you.
course, our dear friend Jim Dickey at Felton Life.
How do you follow that up?
Who, well, I mean, you're incredible as well. You
thank you.
architected the growth of HLI, and
Yep.
you took them to one of the biggest players in the space. So you know how to tell the story, but you also know how to connect to science. And that's a really rare trait. So we're so honored to have you here. Jim, tell us a little bit
Well,
about
thank you,
yourself.
Nick. And I've spent my career having the privilege to be close to folks like are on our panel this evening, brilliant geneticists, brilliant doctors and everything. And being able to understand the science of it, fortunately, and then also drive the business part of it so that they're successful. And it ceases to amaze me every day, the additional brain power and new things that are happening, and that we get in touch with all of the AI revolution, right? I mean, we're about ready to enter into, without a doubt, in my mind, a complete age of enlightenment because of AI. And I wouldn't fear it. I think that, especially as AI is how it's going to affect healthcare and benefit everybody in this room and all of civilization, is really where Fountain Life is at the core, right? I mean, we've mastered being able to take this personalized preventative predictive medicine that Leroy Hood envisioned, put together the platform and all the analysis and so forth, from the imaging, the blood work, the genetics, tying it all together, and they've really created an unbelievable AI machine that's actually working as well as for the doctors that you get assigned to, as well as you, the client, who gets your AI portal to be able to put data into it. I mean, you could be, once you do the analysis and all the data's in there, you could be at dinner and you scan the menu that you're at into the AI portal. It's going to look at all your medical data and say, this is what you should eat tonight based on your blood sugar. I mean, it's amazing.
Pretty extraordinary
Right?
time.
I mean, we will, but
I'm excited to have you here. So thank you both. Dr. Hannah, let's start with you. So you've had an opportunity to study and work on the brain for many years. What have you learned about the brain's adaptability, specifically with children that struggle with ADHD?
Okay. What maybe the most important thing that I've learned is that attention is everything, right? We need it for our memory, for learning. We live in overwhelming time, like we are digitally overwhelmed nowadays, and in all this ocean of information, we need to pick up relevant information. We need to be able to analyze and make decisions, like perform like executive brain functions like decision making, and without attention it is basically not possible. And this is why we decided to build this solution, PicPac Health, for kids, because kids are our future, and without attention they won't be able to learn, they won't be able to accept information. And even as an adult, a lot of adults has ADHD as well. It's not only kids problem. And
if I may add, most CEOs have attention deficiency. I can assure you for that, you know.
Yeah, it is.
No, for sure.
It is helpful at some point, especially when you get to like flow state and you can be hyper focused. But at the same time, on the other hand, it is very exhausting. And we need to, like when we talk about brain aging and longevity, of course, we need to keep our brain healthy, right? We need to keep our brain healthy, and we need to build the cognitive reserve. So that's why, what I mean by that, we need our attention. We need to use it as a currency. I read a book, very nice one, Beyond Success by Jeff Gitterman, and he mentioned that attention, it is a currency. We even say we pay attention. As a speakers now, we are in the center of attention. Hopefully no one is scrolling social media now and just try to observe all this important information. So corporations, they spend millions of money, of dollars to search our attention, to find out what we pay attention for. So with that being said, I wanted to highlight that attention is our main superpower, and this is the main thing that helps to build our brain and keep our brain healthy and maintain neuroplasticity, because neuroplasticity is the main function of the nervous system that helps us to adapt. Basically, what we all need, we all have what we need. We have our neurons and connections between them and our brain, and that's the main thing, that everything is changing in our world, but our nervous system needs to adapt all the time, and to keep it on track, we need to pay attention to our attention. I guess.
I love that you say that. You know, so Sandra and I just bought a kayak like last week,
Yeah.
and we took it out a couple days ago. And while doing some research, I realized that physical fitness, like cardio, actually makes you smarter.
You are always smart.
I need some help, actually.
No,
I appreciate that. But because it helps with specifically with the generation and preservation of neurons, like the cells in the brain.
Yeah, absolutely. There are, during physical activity, a lot of different brain factors they develop, like brain-derived neurotrophic factor helps neuroplasticity, and another important thing like clustering actually helps to prevent Alzheimer's disease. So physical activity by itself, and by the way, dancing, which is more important. So recently, a few years ago, like Albert Einstein College of Medicine made a very nice research about what type of physical activity actually is the most beneficial. And they studied 11 types, like golf, cycling, some other things, and dancing. Actually, people who've been dancing for years, they were able to decrease the risk of Alzheimer's by 70%.
Wow.
Not just, 20, 50, but 70%, guys. So this is why I
Does
joined.
that include the tango? I feel like PK is good at the tango.
Yeah.
Hey, I joined tango class.
No
recently.
way.
I started,
Okay.
Nick. Yeah.
Well, there we go.
With or without a partner?
Excellent point.
I'm sure with partner it is more enjoyable. So.
But it is great to be able to learn more about the bodies so we could improve our health. In fact, Professor PK, you're doing a lot of this work in the medical diagnostic space. Help us understand a little bit about what you're building with LifeAmore.
Okay, good. One of the companies that I serve on the board is LifeAmore. Life and amore. Amore in Spanish means love. You might be wondering what love has to do in healthcare. Love has to do everything in healthcare, because healthcare is missing the love, and we are giving that. So we are in the space of preventive care, so that corrective care is not going to work. We don't want cancer or chronic diseases. It's too late to catch that, and it becomes life-threatening. We want to prevent it much earlier. Today, radiology centers and diagnostic centers, they operate like a photo booth. You go in, they take very, very nice pictures of internal organs. They bill the insurance company. They give the copy to the radiologist, the oncologist, and then they wash their hands off, right? And they have failed us. So we want to fix that by making sure that every scan, even to an extra 5 years in advance, can detect it. Because once prevention is better than cure, if you detect it, you can actually take the corrective measures and keep ourselves healthy. And that's what LifeAmore is all about.
And you guys are working specifically with diagnostics for breast cancer as well?
Across the spectrum, more importantly, women's health. We want to make sure, especially after the COVID, a lot of women have ignored their health. Because women in general, across the world, one thing that's common, they put their health lower on the totem pole compared to their family, compared to their husbands, compared to the children. Then finally comes their health. And that is, we want to flip that script. And to be able to provide preventive care, even non-radiation based scanning technology, painless scanning. No women want to go to a mammography center. It's painful. No doctors, none of them talk about it. They don't want it. It's a painful experience. We have removed the pain in that process with the thermal based scanning. So even pregnant women can take that. And that's one of our first contribution to the preventive care. We are also focused on lungs and other modalities as well. So we do the MRI, CT scan, ultrasound. We have 14 AI patents in that space. Yeah.
Well, it's incredible work that you guys are doing. Speaking of preventative work, it's kind of like we've got the healthcare, but in reality, it's sick care. How is Fountain Life re-engineering how we approach becoming healthier humans, Jim?
So thanks for the question, Nick. That's absolutely the approach, what we're trying to do, and we're doing quite well. We're solving sick care, right? We spend $5 trillion a year on sick care in this country. Wait till you get sick and then we treat you. It's upside down, right? So Fountain Life has been in business for the last almost 10 years, since about 18. It was started by Peter Diamandis and Dr. Bill Kapp, who is an amazing leader. And they have really been able to fine-tune and perfect this platform that we have, where you do all of the optimization of your health first, find a base through all the imaging diagnostics that we do, whole body MRI all the way through. You can imagine with AI involved with it, to all the biomarkers, whole genome sequencing, as well as then gut health, the gut biome and functional health, and you tie all that data together, right? And that becomes 200 gigabytes of data that they have masterfully applied and created an AI machine learning machine, or whatever you call it. It's called Zori. We call it Zori. And after all that data goes in there, Zori goes to town and analyzes all the data and actually helps the doctor. You get a dedicated doctor to follow your care, and helps the doctor to diagnose and find things that they're even missing, right? And you, the client, you have your AI portal where you can be interacting, bringing in all your wearable data, your Apple Watch, your CGM, Oura Ring, whatever it is. It's constantly coming in and updating on a daily basis all of your data. It's phenomenal. And then once you have that base, and we optimize that, because we're looking for the 4 major disease states, right? The cardiovascular, the metabolic disease states, the neurodegenerative, and then obviously the cancer. And we find early stage cancers and everything quite a bit, about a significant amount of time. And we save people's lives almost every day. And once you move to that, then we move to the optimization of your health and wellness. And we've really got a great center and everything with regenerative health, with stem cells, with TPE really replacing some of your blood cells, so the white blood cells, to help. In fact, we were working with John at True Binding on some of the things. So we've covered this from the very beginning all the way through, and we've mastered the program, right?
It's remarkable stuff that you guys are working on. Professor PK, as a teacher who helps with innovation and understanding what's coming next, what are some of the biggest misconceptions around artificial intelligence, maybe specifically within the health tech space?
Fear.
Fear. Okay.
Yeah. So AI, we are right now in an era of AI, but 80-90% of the population is afraid of it, rightfully so. See, AI is at the gate. Okay, you can either make an enemy out of it or a friend. If you can make a friend out of it and get the job done, why make an enemy out of it? Right? What is essentially in simple terms AI? If I have to explain that, think of data as the new oil. Right? We all consuming a lot of data. We go home, we turn on the Netflix, binge watch movies. We turn on the YouTube and keep watching. We don't know what we started off, and 2 hours goes by. We suddenly, this is not why I turned on the YouTube. We are consuming data like never before. But in order to be able to work, like what Anna said, attention. In order to be able to pay attention to it, you need an insight out of the data. That's what AI provides. AI is like an oil rig that kind of goes into the data and gets you relevant information. That's why you're addicted to the systems when you sit there and watch. You start off with one video and you ended up watching something else because they catch your attention all throughout the whole journey. But if you can use that powerful technology for positive, constructive purposes like healthcare, evolution, making it ageless, connecting the dots, and fixing issues around healthcare, because healthcare in the US right now is broken. I mean, this comes from a guy who manages 150 hospitals, 4,000 pharmacies, 500 health systems. We have some of the best technology, but it is underutilized. AI can make that, you can use technology to solve that problem. Make cost of care lower. That's one of the first innovation that's going to come. High tech should not mean high cost. It should mean high quality at affordable prices. Today, healthcare must be made affordable. That's why for all our test diagnostic, we are offering the lowest price point ever. And every single year, we are lowering that cost of care for our customers. Because ultimately, there are two ways to do that. Today, we have a battle that's going on between the care provider and the insurance company. Both of them have raised their swords gradually over time. The insurance companies have figured out the way of using technology to deny, and then the providers figured out, if they are denying, let me charge more, right? So the sword is going up, and the prices have gone up. We got to bring the sword down and reduce that cost of care. That's the space that's going to be the forefront. Otherwise, we can't spend $5 trillion and be a leading economy in the world. We spend 20% of our GDP on healthcare, and folks are not happy. Ultimately, we got to lower that cost down, and it's going to come through AI. And that's why you can make that powerful enemy-like technology into an ally. And that's also part of the reason why I teach during the weekends. I'm not a full-time professor. I serve on a dozen boards, but weekends I share whatever I learn to the masses, and I don't charge them. I do a lot of pro bono for postgraduate program for busy executives who don't have time.
And you probably see that in the enterprise space where they make presentations that are
I
all power, no point, right?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
By the way, sorry for stealing your punchline.
No, it's okay. That's okay. In fact, when Nick invited and three of us, we were having discussion. We asked Nick, we were all busy. Nick was busy. Say, what's the format? Can we do a PowerPoint? He said, no. There was the longest no that I heard. No, I want my audience to have a lot of interactive session, learn and outcome and deliver value, make it beneficial. He said, man, he's going to make my life a little more difficult. Because I have a lot of PowerPoints, and I'm very good at it. And I can put that PowerPoint on. I can cure your insomnia. Trust me on it. And especially post-lunch session are wonderful time. No, I can. You know what I'm talking about. So, but usually Nick and I agreed. Fine, we all agreed that PowerPoints are given by people with a lot of power. No point. So we decided no PowerPoints today. So you're safe today.
Yeah. You know, I did want to make sure to give an opportunity for the audience to connect here as well and keep this kind of, like me, short and sweet. So maybe we could have some questions from the audience. Anybody who is curious about longevity, or what does the future hold, or maybe what are some scary moments where Dr. Hannah has had to keep her cool while operating on a brain? That's pretty crazy too. So, any questions? Yes, please.
Sure. So I have a special needs son who's 11, and 5 years ago he was doing neurofeedback in person. I'm curious, like how has neurofeedback changed over the last 5 years since the pandemic, and what you guys are doing? I'd love to hear more about it.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if everybody in the room.
Yeah, how has neurofeedback changed over the last couple of 5 years? It's a great question.
Good question.
Okay.
Good question.
Yeah, neurofeedback is well-known technology. It's not something completely new. It exists for more than 20, maybe more than 30 years. So basically, how does it work? In our solution, kid is playing the game on the platform wearing the headset, and this game is AI-powered. So we added AI in our solution to make the game process more engaging, because the biggest problem for little kids having the attention deficit is to focus. And if they are not interested in what they are doing, they won't focus, they won't do it. If they don't like this headset, if they don't like the hardware, they just throw it away from their head, and you won't make them to do this. So this is why we decided to build the idea for kids to make it engaging and entertaining and remote. So before, I guess maybe several years ago, even before the pandemic, everything was in the office, on site. And imagine little child, 5 years old, to go to the medical clinic, to wear the clunky hardware, with the gel, with the glue. It's so no, that's that's not gonna work. And they watched the boring videos. Of course, it doesn't work. They won't commit. And now we developed a solution which enables parents and families to work with a neurofeedback specialist remotely, under remote supervision of neurofeedback trainer, at the same time using video games, AI-powered games. And we created a nice headset. We went through 10 rounds of prototyping to make this headset enjoyable for kids. So that's how it changed. And recently, a few days ago, Nature published a nice article about results of neurofeedback for treatment attention deficit in kids. And yeah, it is impressive that these technologies still exist, and it's very beneficial actually in combination with the different types of treatment for sure. But it really helps to improve executive functions like decision making and analyzing and focusing. So I highly encourage you to try at least.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that. I heard not too long ago from an author named Nir Eyal, who wrote a book called Hooked. How to make your products habit forming. By the way, sometimes habits can be a good thing, like taking a shower, or right. So like if we think about driving engagement, like if you have a video game and your player opens up the refrigerator and it's a piece of chocolate cake, pretty great. However, if you introduce variability into that reward mechanism, maybe next time it's lemon meringue pie, or strawberry rhubarb, or a jelly donut, or whatever, the engagement level will skyrocket. So we can actually build engagement into the reward mechanism for products, which is a pretty cool idea. And speaking of driving engagement, Jim, you guys have been growing like crazy. Help us understand a little bit about what the journey is like, because we all want to be happier and healthier and live longer. What does that look like from a product perspective, and how have you guys built that into the product experience?
So that's a great piece of the journey, because when you come in that first day, you're going through all this diagnostics and everything, right? So when you first come in, you're like, what's going to happen? But at the same time, it's very luxury at the moment, right? So after you go through everything, and then you get a dedicated doctor, it returns the results, then they put you on a care path. Having this AI portal, Zori, really keeps you engaged in increasing, your whole health span. As long as we don't find something where we need to do something right away, which we do, right? And the good news is it's all about early detection, right? And we find early stage cancers, cardiovascular issues. The cardiovascular testing that we do is second to none in the country, right? It's just, it's amazing. As well as the neurodegenerative, as well as the metabolic. So being able to go through this, get an unbelievable picture of your health, then from that base, have your doctor put in place a plan. You have a whole care team that follows you along throughout your membership, and being able to then move it to the next level of nutrition, of wellness, of functional medicine, right? Versus just Eastern medicine or whatever, or Western medicine. And then moving to the next level of the whole regenerative therapeutic area that we get into with potential stem cell, therapeutic plasma exchange, all the things that we're doing, tying that data together keeps you so engaged because you want to stay healthy. You want to optimize your health going forward and enjoy the fact there's a very high probability you could live past 100. I want to do that, right? But I don't want to do it sitting in a diaper, right? I want to do it enjoying the things that I like to do and with my family, healthy. And that's what we're making happen. And then right now is we're servicing the wealthy, but eventually this will democratize. And our goal, our dream, and our mission is to make sure this is the kind of care that is done around the world for 8 billion people. And then you have an unbelievably healthier society and workforce and everything. And it will happen.
Thank you, Jim. And I think we had another question over here.
So AGI, ASI, and biology and synthetic biology is changing everything, right? I mean, I think we're literally at the cusp of programming biology on demand. So it means I may be born with a certain disease, but I can just edit it out. I don't have to do a lifestyle mechanism of going through. I can do that at the fetus level or even before your child is even born. So this concept of curing a disease more and more is more a lab mechanism rather than leaving it to your body to figure out and fight itself. So from a biohacking on one side, which is more of a lifestyle epigenetic layer, to actually SynBio and AI designing and programming your biology from scratch. Does it really, from each of your vantage point, where do you see your own conditioning, rejecting if a possibility arises, where you're able to adapt and change to that modality versus the way we do things today? So if you're a neuroscientist or a neurosurgeon, would you leave the way you do it today to unlearn and redo it if another option presents? Because that's all happening, right? I mean, it's almost like two species.
That's a great question. Are there shortcuts, Professor BK?
Yeah, so today technology is available to do that. You can do any level of protein folding. You can do a simulator. We have an entire GPU infrastructure to run those simulations. You can create the most perfect DNA. But the question is that what you want to do? Do you want to take technology and apply it to the full extent of it, or you want to take it and apply it, still remain human in our experiences? When we are born, we are destined to go leave this body one day. But how do we age that process? How do we go through that gracefully? Is the bigger question. My grandma lived for 100 years. My dad was smart. He was a modern man, mathematician, civil engineer. My mother was smarter than him. And she was not all that not that less she was less educated, but she was smart. Yes, and they live longer as well. So there's something to learn. There is something to learn from the women, how to live longer, age gracefully. That's something that we can take and put into AI.
We're reaching, in about 10-15 years, we're reaching a point of longevity escape velocity. It is not aging anymore. We are beginning to stall aging.
Correct.
Just naturally.
Naturally.
So this is why it's no longer about, 100 year, how do I optimize? The optimization is one mechanism, which is what we do on the planet. But you no longer, that's the path only.
Correct.
Again, one can choose, but I think the scientifically the choice has already emerged for an alternative. So that's why in the fountain life and human longevity, there's a scientific interventions that are already happening. So if that is the case, then of course we would have access to it. That's a bigger issue. But the feasibility is already here.
Correct.
So from that standpoint, if someone would come to you, just from your own like professional positioning is there a path of recommendation that would naturally be given, or one would still push for old conditioning of how we thought one would age, and it's a cycle of life, you gotta die. It's a curing of a death is what we're talking about. No longer that if you're born means you have to die. You don't have to, right?
So, Dr. Hanna, as boots on the ground, is it practical now, or is it science fiction, or where does the truth actually lie?
Okay, I would say that of course a lot of happening in the field, a lot of interventions are happening, and let's compare human lifespan. Let's say 100 years ago, like 200 years ago, it was way less, right? Maybe around 50 years ago, and like in average 50 years. Now it is about 70 years, right? And innovations in medicine, innovations in science, like invention of antibiotics or other types of treatments of other diseases, different approaches to cancer treatment help us to live longer. And now the population is actually lives longer, but the population is aging. And it's a good question, what is aging or death? Like, is it a normal process, like a life cycle, or is it a disease, right? Is it a condition that has to be treated? And at some point, yes, because what leads to aging? Like mitochondrial dysfunction, metabolic issues with glucose metabolism, right? Oxidative stress and all other things, and inflammation in the body, neuroinflammation, if we talk about Alzheimer's disease. It is all aging. So we can consider it a disease. At the same time, different interventions can be done on different levels, as you say. And one of the principles of 5P medicine, because yeah, we actually focus on sick care now, but now it's shifting. Now, I guess more and more attention goes to healthcare actually, and which is good. So what I wanted to say that 5P medicine, one of the principles is participatory. It is not only doctor, it is not only technologies or science responsibilities to take care of your health. We should take care of our own health and focus on our lifestyle at first. So it is not like scientific innovations, they do not exclude our responsibility to live healthy lifestyle. And talking about Alzheimer's again, and I'm actually in the world, nowadays, there are about 50 million of people with Alzheimer's, and which is scary, 2/3 of them are women. You said women are smarter, but oh hell, like 2/3 of people with Alzheimer's are women. What should we do? Because we face hormonal issues. We need to follow our hormones. We need to like be proactive in taking care of our health, check our health. Here in the United States, in the Bay Area especially, there are a lot of services that can help us to do this, like functional health or strawberry health, where you can basically order the lab test, do it at home, send to the lab. You don't even need to go somewhere to do the blood test, right? You can do it at home in your bathroom, which is amazing. So lifestyle, early diagnosing, using all these tools and science as well and different types, it is important. At some stages, even some surgical procedures can help. For example, have you heard about ARPA-H? Advanced Research Projects Agency for Health. They recently launched the idea, the project about functional replacement of neurocortical tissue. Mm-hmm. So maybe in the future, like replacement of the brain will be one of the solutions for stroke, for like traumatic brain injury.
Cyborgs, basically.
Who knows? So yeah, that's
wow, pretty incredible stuff. So we wanted to keep this like fun and engaged, and so really appreciate the questions here. So as we kind of wrap things up, let's share one practical example from each of you on longevity, maybe something about sleep or nutrition or community, which Chip Conley tells us is the greatest indicator of longevity. So one thing that that the audience and the zombies here can do practically, and then also maybe how can folks get in touch with you and maybe a shout out. Jim, please kick us off.
Thanks, Nick. And I want to say one more thing. I'm not a doctor, but I do play one on stage sometimes, right? So the other piece to the continual, are we going to change the paradigm, right? Is really what you're saying is the AI happens. The next piece that's really coming into play real quick, and you'll know what I'm about ready to say, is the whole immune cell, right? Being able to sequence our whole immune cell, which there's a couple companies out there that have mastered that, because as we grow older, the immune system begins to break down when we get sick, when we hurt ourselves, whatever, and the T cells break down. But if you can sequence that whole entire immune cell base for each individual, right, and then go in and fix that and repair that system, now at 70 years old, you've got an immune system that's been repaired back to the point of when you're 20 years old. That's here. It's and so you add that kind of stuff to places like Fountain Life, like HL Life, like all of the companies that are doing this Biograph. They're wonderful because I love to mention them all because all of the brilliant minds, the Craig Ventners, right, the Peter Attias, the George Church, the Peter Diamandis, all of them have this vision that they genuinely want to do this to change the world for the better of our health, right? Right now it's expensive, so therefore we have to charge a lot of money for it. But that's okay because eventually it'll go down to a point where everybody can have this, especially with AI. And it's going to be a lot sooner. I was with Peter the other day. It's probably about 2030. It's going to happen just like that.
What's something practically that we can do today, would you say?
So one of the things you can do today, I always hear our folks talk about it, is really pay attention to your sleep, right? Sleep is so important. And making sure that if you have sleep disruptions, finding out what it is, which gets into all the stuff that we do because we start collecting the data and the Oura rings and being able to use AI to find out why it is or what's happening throughout your whole system that's causing you to have bad sleep. One of the most important and single most things I can say to you is figure out your sleep patterns and fix it.
Amazing, thank you. And can you share an email or how can folks connect with you?
So I would love everybody to connect with me. My email is jim.dickey, my last name D like David, ICKEY, at fountainlife.com. Jim.dickey at fountainlife.com. And then and afterwards, let's connect and I can share information and answer questions, or you want to become a member, I'll show you how to have that. There's different levels. We, not just for that, but we also have executive health programs where we're working with companies across their C-suite. It's all kinds of things we're doing.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jim. Yeah, Dr. Hannah, please.
Okay. My best tip, I already mentioned, dance. And I know we have DJ tonight. Yes? Yeah. So do we. So please don't waste this opportunity and just dance, just do it. What about connecting? Happy to connect with everyone. LinkedIn for me is the best way to connect. I'm very active there. So yeah, feel free to reach out and I'm happy to talk more.
Great. And we'll put all of their contacts in the show notes as well. And
talking about sleep, if you can get natural sleep, please attend my classes. All are welcome. No charges. So, we love what we understand, so help you understand the complexities of AI. Now, on a much more serious note, today being the anniversary of my grandma, I just wanted to also bring about before she gives medicines and heals people. I've seen her do that, and then she chants some mantras, and somehow magically they come back and say it's cured. I mean, I used to wonder, but there's one mantra she doesn't say that in front of others. She just says it all her own. And when I'm standing next to her, I just listen to her. It basically goes like this: a mantra, akshara, nasti, mula mantra. Essentially, it goes something like there is no sound that is not sacred in this universe. There's no word that is not sacred. There is no root of a plant that doesn't have a medicinal property or a healing property. And there is no person who's not useless or no good. Everybody has a value in this society. But they're all common. What is rare is essentially bringing them all together from a place of goodness and kindness, and then delivering those medicines. So she used to pray and give me that power to give this to. Then she served a lot of folks who couldn't even pay. And I used to ask her, that person didn't pay. She said, no, it's good karma. It's okay. She doesn't pay. That's our earning. So for that reasons, I want to thank Nick for bringing us all together with the goodness in heart. And for that reason, I bow to you.
Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that.
And again, this is an amazing event on October 10th. Yeah, certainly buy a ticket, but if there's anybody here in the industry or whatever would like to sponsor, Nick's got a couple places left. And it's really a great way to debut and come together among the community to learn and to share unbelievable technology.
I'll Venmo you guys later. Thank you for that. So, Sandra, are you here, sweetheart? Can you come say a quick couple words? Because we've got these great tickets. I know I'm embarrassing you, but come on and say anyways. So, do you have the tickets by chance? Yeah.
We having today a special code for whoever wants to go to the longevity on October 10th. So normally the ticket is $200, but today is $80. So whoever wants, I can give you one thing here, and the code is right there, and it's good till tomorrow midnight. So whoever wants.
Yeah, I take a couple.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, well, let's do a round of applause for these guys. Thank you so much. And next up, we've got DJ Kamu. So we got more music, so we could dance. So I did a little bit of moving and grooving. So awesome. Thank you so much, you guys. And check us out on YouTube if you want to check more of the best brains. And we'll see you all October 10th. Another round of applause. Thank you so much. All right, that was awesome. Thank you, Dr. Hannah. That was great. Thank you, Jim. Rockstar. Love it. Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
I teach also, but I teach
okay.
the intersection of 3D and AI.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, cool.
That's fine.
Diagnosing is
Dallas,
so challenging,
and opening
especially
up in
because
Houston
it is so
or in New York.
subjective, like based
So,
on interview
very
observations,
easy access.
and this is why there is a huge need to increase the accuracy of diagnosis, because the subjective diagnosing and prescribing psychostimulants, it is devastating. So I'm happy to connect. I'm happy